Well, you've got another song for us called Flowers on the Table.
Flowers on the Table.
Head up in a parking lot, the sounds of children there whispering through, around corners, under cars, hanging on air that barely moves. Dusk hangs briefly, then moves along. It pushes like a season, and seasons are strong. It doesn't take long. It doesn't take long. And one thing will always lead to another, like thinking of loved ones, or sisters or brothers, thoughts of the flowers I left on the table for you. Head up in a swirling morning, with cloud-like scratches at the back of my eyes, a flicker of a smile, and it reminds me to move along, move along. How many pictures can bring back a memory, and over of each and of every smile in the sunshine, or tears of a passing year. And one thing will always lead to another, like thinking of loved ones, or sisters and brothers, and thoughts of the flowers I left on the table for you.
Yes, Jeff Erickson. That was Jeff Erickson. For more information about Jeff, please log on to maniacs.com. Well, Dennis Drew is about to play another song for us. This song is called Jesus Drove a Gray Car.
It's actually a true story. This is a song about a friend of mine. I grew up with him here on the north side. He's a pretty scary dude, actually. Like some far-off TV broadcast, his mind was weak and wild. When he met her on the street that night, he didn't even smile. He was lonely. She was lonely too. Then he called her baby. With heaven in his eyes, he told her maybe I should take you for a ride. We'll go to Florida. And somewhere down that line we'll find a home and shelter from the storm that seems to rage outside my door, and a lonely resting place for this heart of mine. Well, Pat was shoveling coal at the Dunkirk power plant. This was about 1978. He's about 19 years old. I think he was 19 years old. And he got his first girlfriend. She was a 16-year-old from Dunkirk named Beverly. Well, Beverly had a really strict father. They didn't get to see each other very much. So Patrick decided that he would rob the Minuteman on the corner of Fluvanna and Washington Street. It's a quick fill now. They're burning down my memories. He lured the attendant out back and he hit him in the head with a rock, and he knew the kid too. Then he got in his 1973 Le Mans, drove to Dunkirk, and he kidnapped Bev, and he took her to Florida. She shivered when she heard this, and she backed down a flight of stairs. She thought about her father, and she said, Jesus, Pat, I'm scared. He said, I'm lonely. She said, I'm lonely too. Then he called her baby. With heaven in his eyes, he told her maybe I should take you for a ride. We'll go to Florida. I'll be a roofer. And somewhere down the line we'll build a home and shelter from the storm that seems to rage outside this door, and a lonely resting place for this heart of mine. Well, to her Jesus drove a gray car, and he walked like you or me. Every word is true.
Great song. Dennis Drew. How about that? When did you write that song, Dennis?
I wrote most of that song in 1986, approximately. We actually, I wrote that before in my tribe. 1986, approximately. Old one. I wrote that at my parents' house. One of the first songs I ever wrote, actually. I didn't finish it, though, until about 1995. That last song, the thing that tied it together was that line, Jesus drove a gray car. To her, Jesus drove a gray car. Sure. And that was a line that was uttered by my 5-year-old son when my father came over, when Grandpa came over. And we looked out the window, and there was my dad's car, his little gray Omni. And he said to me, he goes, Jesus drove a gray car. You're 5. What does that mean? But it's true. But that tied that whole song together.
That was it.
As a matter of fact, I remember Dennis calling me up and saying, you know, you'll never believe what Little D said today.
It's a good one.